Hey, who are you? What do you want? Oh, so you want to learn about me, do you? Well, I guess there's quite a bit I could tell you. My name is Bill Taft. Well, that's William Howard Taft, as you probably know me. You know that I was 27th President of the United States, but I was much more than that. I was born in 1857 in Cincinnati, Ohio. My father was in politics. My whole family was in politics. And my father served as U.S. Attorney General and U.S. Secretary of War under President Ulysses S. Grant. Well, I became quite a student, not because I was the smartest bulb in the class, but I just worked harder than everybody else. I followed in my father's footsteps in many ways. I went to Yale, and I joined the Skull and Bones Club, which my father helped found. I also finally graduated. I graduated second in my class from Yale, so I went back to Ohio for law school. I worked my way up through the courts in Ohio and eventually became elected to the Superior Court of Cincinnati. My ultimate dream, though, however, was to become a Supreme Court justice. I almost did it in 1889, but President William Henry Harrison appointed me Solicitor General instead. After that, I was appointed to the United States Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, about this time, I met my darling Nellie, that is Helen, my wife, and we had many wonderful years together, and I wouldn't be what I've become without her. Well, anyway, my judicial career was interrupted. In 1901, I was appointed civilian governor of the Philippines by William McKinley. In 1904, I was appointed Secretary of War by President Theodore Roosevelt. Now, as you can see, once again, I followed in my father's footsteps. While I was in the administration of Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy and I became very, very close, and he handpicked me to be his successor as president when he left the office in 1909. Anyway, that gets me back to where I am right now as far as in Galesburg and why I am in Galesburg. The reason is that I came for the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln-Douglas debate. At that time, I had been asked to speak at Knox College, so I was on my way from the train station over here, walking down South Street, famously escorted by several Knox students to the engagement. Well, I became president. I was elected in November of 1908, and I assumed office in 1909. I only had one term as president, but during that time I was involved in a lot of issues. As a matter of fact, I helped restructure the State Department. I completely revamped our country's foreign policy, and I added to the antitrust laws. One area I would not support was the enfranchisement of women's suffrage. Women are too emotional to vote. So, basically, I wrote one time that the immediate enfranchisement of women will add to the hysterical element of the electorate. Anyway, after I became president and left office, I went back to Yale and became a professor. I was very openly, I maintained my political activities, and I was very openly critical of World War I. Finally, in 1921, I achieved my dream, and I became Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. I am the only individual in U.S. history who has been both the president and a Supreme Court justice. Well, it didn't last very long. I took office in 1921. In 1930, I became seriously ill, and I had to resign from my post in the Supreme Court, and I died a month later. I was interred in Arlington National Cemetery, and I am the only president, and I was the first president and justice of the Supreme Court to be interred there. Well, now that you've learned a little bit about me, I hope you found it interesting. Now, there's something I got to talk to you about. This is really in my craw. People say I got stuck in the bathtub when I was in the White House. Now, I am a large man, have a huge frame, and I did have a special bathtub built for me when I was in the White House, but I did not get stuck in the bathtub. I did not. So please dispel that rumor. Tell your friends, everybody, that just never happened. Well, thank you very much for listening to me today. You have a good day.